the Deputy Minister of Police, the Provincial Commissioner of the Western Cape, the Lieutenant General, the Deputy Commissioners present, the Major Generals present, all employees of South African Police Service, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure for me to be part of the youth engagement at their workplace this morning. My name is Darlington Taste. I'm a pastor and I'm a transformational speaker. This morning, I am here to be part of what is happening. I've been working with the youth desk for some time, but this morning I stand here to speak about agent of change. Just here for a very short time, just to speak a little bit about an agent of change. I'm just going to define two things first. If I should define, number one, what is an agent, and number two, what is change, so that we are on the same page as we get there. When you look at the term agent, agent means representative. When you look at the word represent, it comes from two words, re and present. It means if I'm an agent, somebody that I'm representing, they appear. My appearance is their appearance because they reappear in my presence. And when you are an agent, you are standing on behalf of, in other words, you are a surrogate, you are a trustee. Everything has been trusted in your hands. You are standing in for someone else. And when you look at the term change, change is an act or a process through which something becomes different. There can never be change without transformation. When you look at the word transformation, it comes from two words, trans and form. When you're speaking about transport, you're speaking about mobility, moving from port A to port B. So when we say transform, we are saying we want a metamorphosis or a change of the current shape. So when we as the police are engaging together with our communities, you realize that we are thrown into communities which already have set forms and set shapes that are already there. I'm born in a society which already has a set form and a set shape for our young people. But then when we have those set shapes and set forms that are already present, we as the police, we are standing up to fight against the current settings that are already out there. When you look at the models that are already there, it's models that have been there for generations. It's models that have been there by the time that we've been born. When you look at the term set, it comes from the original word, which is to make concrete. Concrete, when it is worked, you can move it. But once that building has been set, you cannot move it. When you look in the Bible says God made the heavens and the earth, but now the earth was without form and the darkness filled the face of the deep. But when you check, when God made the heavens, he made the heavens and the earth. The earth is the tangible, visible world that we see and that we live in. But then, the earth is the tangible, visible world that we live in. But when you look at the term world, the world is a system that runs the earth dimension. So what is happening in our societies is that there is a system which is a thinking pattern that is incorrect, that is running around with the perpetrators. So ourselves as the agent of change, what we are doing is we are standing in together with our government, and we stand on behalf of our government to bring the right thinking and to bring public safety in our communities. When we are working and we are representing our government, you realize that together as we work, there is no room for corruption. Otherwise, we become dishonest, full of deceit or fraudulent, or become part of the law breaking. So how do I do it, therefore? One has to set up boundaries. It means to say that when I'm working as a representative, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set out my own boundaries. I'm going to have my negotiable principles and my non-negotiable principles. I need to live as a representative that will have principles by their own. And when I understand my role in the community in relation to the government, I stand as a person that is able to deliver and fight against the incorrect thinking patterns and fight against the incorrect actions, fight against the incorrect behaviors and characters that we have in our communities. The responsibilities that have been given to us don't need to be ignored, because ignorance is the mother of frustration. Most of us have lived in a place where we are so ignorant, and that's the reason why we are so frustrated. Now, I have come across a number of police force that are so much depressed and that are so much distressed because of the negativity that they face each and every day. Because each and every time when police are called to a scene, most of the calls that they receive, it's everything that is negative. By the end of the day, you discover that on its own builds up stress within oneself, because 7 days in a week or 30 days in a week, most of your responses, you are responding to assault, you are responding to rape, you are responding to robbery, you are responding to murder. You are always responding to negativity. By the same token, you find that these people are locked up where they are so much stressed because of what you are seeing, and some of them are traumatized because of what they are responding to. Now, how do I motivate myself when I'm in those kind of stuff? Because I've been attending a murder scene, and then the next thing is I have to go through to a robbery. When I move away from a robbery, then I have to attend a rape. How do I become motivated? These are a few keys that I'm just going to share with you, how you can stay motivated by yourself. Number one, you have a vision. Number one, you have a vision. Vision is the function of the heart, and sight is the function of the eyes. With my eyes, I look at things, but with my heart, I see beyond where other people are looking at. So when I look at this building, all I see is the four walls. But when I close my eyes, I can see beyond the four walls, because I'm not boxing myself. I tend to see out of the box. So I may be working in Milnerton Police Station, or you're working in Cape Town Milnerton Police Station, but let your eyesight have a broader picture than where you are only working. Have a bigger picture of what you want to be. When you have that, you develop within yourself what Napoleon Hill says, and I quote, you have no personality that each one of us, we don't have a thing that each one of us is got a fixed personality, but we make out our own personalities. So in other words, I have to wake up being a person that can visualize where I want to go. I need to visualize where we are going to be. I like the vision that was shared out by our chairperson. She's sharing out the vision that where they want the youth to engage themselves together with the police. So how can the youth work together? So you have a bigger picture. So out of that particular vision that you've already been given to you, you have your own personal vision. Personal vision is to say, how can I execute this from my own department? And secondly, the other thing that you will have is association. Your association determines the route in which way you are going to go, because bad company corrupts good morals. So if you are motivated, stay with motivated people. Associate yourself with the right kind of people. They are good people that are bad for you. So select the people that will push your vision and the things that you are targeting to achieve in the police force. Number three, you plan your work. You plan your work. So how you are going to motivate yourself, you plan your work. When you are upset, that's the most time to learn the life most important rule. There is only one unbeatable rule that Napoleon Hill says: the mastery of sorrows and disappointments, the transmutation of those emotional frustrations through definite planned work. Sometimes I stay demotivated because I don't have a definite purpose of living. But when I have a definite purpose of living, it means to say I can have a plan that I have, that this is what we want to achieve in the next 30 years. But then I have to break it down to 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 3 months, and every month, and on a daily basis. So it means to say when I wake up on an everyday basis, I have a schedule that I'm working with. So my motivation therefore becomes my working schedule that I have on my table. Most of us, sometimes we do not plan. And when I do not spend time in planning, I spend 3 hours running around in a crisis when a crisis emerges. But whereas if I spend 1 hour in my planning, I will actually cut off the 3 hours of me running around without attending to things in a crisis. Let me close by saying, as I'm working, I don't need to be somebody that is only one-sided, but I need to be somebody that is able to dribble with all my hands. The fact that I've been shown to operate things by my right hand does not mean that my left hand has to relax. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, let our youth be innovative. Let them be constructive. Let them see beyond the obvious. So what I'm saying is that when I'm given a basketball, I can bounce the ball with my right hand, but I may as well bounce the ball with my left hand. But if I keep saying I cannot bounce the ball with my left hand, and I keep saying my left hand cannot do it, but the more I bounce the ball with my left hand, that's the more I become good both with my hands. So each one of us needs to be a jack of all trades and be able to intermingle at all different levels. Thank you so much.